What's going on, fam? It's your boy Peter Fragrance King, man. I'm coming at y'all today with a video. What we're gonna be talking about one of the newer releases of 2026, man. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the brand new one from Armaf, Club de Nuit Intense Overdose. Listen, I've heard a lot of different things about this fragrance. I've actually had a chance to wear this fragrance for the better part of a week. I got some stuff I need to talk to you about, and hopefully y'all want to hear it. So if you're ready and you want to know my thoughts on this particular fragrance, stick around. I got you covered. All right, man. Let's not waste no time. Okay, we're talking about Club de Nuit Intense Overdose by Armaf. Listen, when it comes to this particular brand, this particular house, they've came out with a whole bunch of fragrances that that are inspired by Creed Aventus fragrances, right? Aventus is a very cloned fragrance, if you will, that has inspired a whole bunch of fragrances. And Armaf, to me, so far, has done the best job of creating fragrances that come close to smelling just like the original Ventus, and then now they're getting close to creating something that absolutely smells like Absolute Ventus, man. And in my personal opinion, I believe that that's what they was headed toward when they created this particular fragrance right here. Listen, I wore this fragrance for a whole week, and then I actually had a day where I put Absolute Ventus on my left hand and Club de Nuit Overdose on this hand. And here are my thoughts. With Club de Nuit Intense Overdose, it's a super fruity fragrance where you can pick up on the juicy pineapple and stuff right off the top. And once I get into the note breakdown, you'll see that there's some notes in here that you won't find in Absolute Ventus, okay? So what do you get in Club de Nuit Intense Overdose? All right, so you're going to get some pineapple. You're going to get some blue crystals, which I'm not sure what that's about. You can't even smell crystals. So I think that it's a play on the word overdose. That's what I think. And I think that's the reason why they put blue crystals in here or just labeled it as a note. I don't think that that note is actually in here. Also, you're going to get some tangerine. You're going to get some bergamot, oak moss, vanilla flower, and plum. You're going to get white powder, patchouli, tonka bean, and amber. So once again, with this particular fragrance, you get a different note composition than you would get with the OG Absolute Aventus. All right, more specifically, like I just mentioned, the blue crystals, I think that that's a play on the overdose word. I don't think that that's a real note. I think that it's made up, but I could be wrong. Armaf, if I'm wrong, put something out there to let the people know that I'm wrong. Also, white powder, right? What type of white powder? Is it baby powder? Is it, like what is it, right? So I also think that that is a play on the word overdose, okay? Blue crystals, if you ever seen the movie Breaking Bad, okay, the blue crystals was talking about something that they was making at that particular time. And then we all know what you can reference when it comes as it pertains to white powder, okay? So I think that that's a play on the overdose word. That's my take on it. As far as the rest of the notes, like the pineapple and the tangerine note and stuff like that. So you're not gonna get tangerine in the original Absolute Ventus, but you do get it in here. And right off the bat, I feel like you get a heavy dose of sweet, juicy fruits. Okay, so you get the pineapple that's very juicy. You get the tangerine note. You're also gonna get the bergamot, and then also in the middle you're gonna get that plum. So you get a lot of fruits in here right off the back. So the top and the middle notes is gonna be layered with a bunch of fruits, and you can pick that up. And I think that that's a good thing. I think the opening for this fragrance is gonna be the highlight of this particular fragrance. I don't think that it's gonna be a detractor. So as soon as you spray this fragrance on, you're gonna be wowed by the sweetness of it, the fruitiness of it, and also with the OG, right? You get the fruits, you get the pineapple in that particular fragrance as well. However, this particular fragrance, I feel like focuses more on the sweet, juicy fruits. In the dry down of this particular fragrance, when it comes to the green notes like the patchouli, right? I feel like the patchouli, the tonka bean, and the amber kind of highlights the base notes. You can kind of pick up a little bit more of the patchouli note than you can in the Absolute Aventus, because I know both fragrances contain the note of patchouli and the amber and the tonka bean. So this fragrance to me overall is a little sweeter than Absolute Aventus, if in fact that this is what this fragrance is inspired by, which to my nose on the opening smells just like Absolute Aventus. I'm not a huge Creed Aventus fan, so I wasn't too thrilled about rushing to go pick up this fragrance. However, people was asking me about it, and I felt like that y'all deserved my take on this particular fragrance, man. What I will say is this is a fragrance that I wear. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of Press You One when it came out. I know that was an inspired by fragrance of Absolute Aventus. But then again, I could just be biased because I'm not a fan of Creed Aventus. I do think it's a great fragrance, but it just does not work well with my body chemistry, right? And hey, to each his own, man. Not everything is gonna work for everybody. Um, let's talk about the performance of this fragrance. So with Club de Nuit Intense Overdose, I feel like the projection for this is about 2 to 2.5 feet. The longevity for this is gonna be 12 plus hours. Literally on a testing strip and both on my skin, it lasted all day. I put it on at 6 o'clock that morning and like 8, 9 o'clock that afternoon. I mean, that evening, right before I got ready to get in the shower, I could still smell the fragrance. Also, the shirt that I took off that day, I could still smell it. And then the testing strip that I originally sprayed it on when I first got it, I had it sitting on the dresser, forgot to throw it away. I kept smelling something and I'm like, what is that? And I picked up the testing strip and I was still picking up hints of Club de Nuit Intense Overdose. And it wasn't just hints, actually it was quite strong. When I wore them side by side on Saturday, I had them on each arm. Like I said, the Club de Nuit Intense Overdose actually outperformed Creed Absolute Aventus, right? And that could be from the fact that most of these houses, I don't want to call them dupe houses because they are fragrance houses in their own right. What I will say is that a lot of the material and raw material that they use in these fragrances, they are a little synthetic. So most of the time when you got a synthetic compound in a fragrance, it tends to last a little bit longer, man. That is the draw from using some type of synthetic compound. When you use raw material, like a lot of the niche houses use, it smells better, it smells richer. However, the performance is not always there, which is not a bad thing, man. You don't need every fragrance to be a 10 plus hour fragrance. You don't need it to be beast mode every time you put a fragrance on. All right. Listen, if you like the Creed Aventus DNA, right? If you are somebody that likes Absolute Aventus, like I like Absolute Aventus, if you're somebody that likes that, you're gonna love this. And honestly, this is something that if you don't want to just be wasting all your sprays of Absolute Aventus, you can put this on. Nobody's gonna be able to tell the difference. Now, will I repurchase this fragrance after I run out? I don't know. I really don't know, because I can tell you that I'm probably gonna have this for a long time. Because, like I said, I don't reach for Aventus all the time. I don't reach for Absolute Aventus all the time. The other Club de Nuit Intense Man flankers, I barely use them. I do wake up sometime in the mood and I use them. All right, but super fruity fragrance. It is a great fragrance. Armaf did a great job with this fragrance. I'm not gonna, knock it. They did a great job with this fragrance. I was just expecting another run of the mill Aventus clone or inspired by fragrance, but they actually took their time with this one, and it smells good. But like I said, this DNA ain't for me. But some of the other lines that they got from Armaf, I've actually enjoyed. Like the Millesime Imperial inspired by fragrance, which is Milestone, the Silver Mountain Water one, which is Siage. I like both of those, right? Because I like that DNA. And this is not bad, man. My kids love this stuff. My kids absolutely love Absolute Aventus. So this might be something that they can reach for instead of reaching for Absolute Aventus. If you're somebody that's a stickler for fingerprints on your bottles, then you might want to stay away from this fragrance because, like I said, this Bottle, it's a beautiful bottle. The red top, the undertones of the bottle is beautiful, but it is a fingerprint magnet. And honestly, if you already have some of the other intense man flankers by Armaf in the Club de Nuit line, then it might be redundant to buy this one. I will wait until I run out of those and then get this one. But once you get this one, to me, this is the only one that you'll need. You won't need to go out and repurchase the other ones because this one has everything that you was looking for in the other ones, except it's done better. It seems like that Armaf used more quality ingredients in this particular fragrance. All right. So if you're somebody that likes that Aventus DNA, then this is the fragrance for you. And if you don't want to go out and spend your money on Absolute Aventus, this is a great fragrance. If you can get a sample of this fragrance, go out and get a sample. Right now, I think you're not going to find this fragrance in it for anything less than $70. I had to search around and shop around and find this fragrance. And I wasn't even looking for a deal. I found this fragrance on Frag Flex, and I bought it, purchased it for $72. So you might want to hang around for a while, wait until you can find it in the $45 to $50 range, like on Joma Shop or some of these other great market dealers. And if you can catch it at those prices, it's absolute steal, man. So look, I don't want to take up any more of you guys' time. Club de Nuit, Intense Overdose. I got to get Armaf their props. They did their thing with this, and even though, like I said, I'm not a fan of it. If you're a frag head that loves the Aventus DNA, you're gonna love this. If you love the other intense man DNAs, you're gonna love this, right? This is money well worth spending. Like I said, if you can find it for the right price, and if you like that DNA. Listen, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hype this video. If you see a hype button, hype this video. I appreciate all the support for you guys. I got a big surprise coming up for all my subscribers, man, that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I want to do something to give back. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but you was here with me. It's your boy AP the Fragrance King, and I'm out.